Hi everyone, welcome to PlayStation Access. My name is Ash and I am here with the news that it has been 20 years since the release of the very first Ratchet & Clank game. To mark the occasion, a 20th anniversary armor pack has been released for the pair's PS5 adventure, Rift Apart. And from the 15th of November, a new batch of games from the series will be joining PlayStation Plus Premium. That means the total number of Ratchet & Clank titles available on Premium will be 10, including both the classic and future trilogies. Check the description for the full list. Meanwhile, what we're doing to mark the occasion is revisiting the history of the series from PS2's debut to PS5's Rift Apart.
Okay, I think we have all the parts we need. Let's get to work.
Ratchet & Clank first arrived on PS2 in 2002 in a self-titled adventure developed by Insomniac Games, the same Insomniac behind Rift Apart and Marvel's Spider-Man, and who, in 2002, were best known for the Spyro series. This first game shows us how the pair meet. Ratchet, a daydreaming mechanic on the planet Veldin, Clank, a defective warbot escaping from a nearby assembly line and in possession of secret plans about the safety of the galaxy.
What's with all this save the solar system stuff anyway?
These plans involve a brilliantly evil business tycoon called Drek, who's basically planning to destroy every planet in the galaxy for profit. More importantly, however, the game establishes several pillars of the series: the evil Blarg, the Omni-Wrench, crates that explode into showers of bolts when you hit them, the gradual accumulation of creative weaponry, a planet-hopping story, and the treacherous nature of blustering would-be hero Captain Quark.
Thank you, and have a quark-tastic day!
What'd you say?
Nothing.
The pair returned in 2003 with Ratchet & Clank 2, subtitled Locked and Loaded, or Going Commando, depending on your region, if you know what I mean. Our heroes are now famous, and have been offered work helping Megacorp to recover a secret biological experiment.
And I need you to get the experiment back!
We'll do it!
A tour of exotic locations, a secret female Lombax, and a big betrayal later, it turns out the disgraced Captain Quark is behind a plan to unleash deadly pets on the galaxy so he can step in to save the day and restore his reputation.
Alright, just what the f*** is going on?
Ratchet & Clank 3, Up Your Arsenal, arrived in 2004 and is a big deal because it's the first time we meet the fantastically villainous Dr. Nefarious, here on a mission to wipe out all biological life in the galaxy.
Soon, all robots will bask in the liberty and equality of my benevolent, iron-fisted rule.
Defeating him means battling a Clank clone called Clunk. Try saying that 5 times as fast. And teaming up with the disgraced Captain Quark, who, after a bit of a wobble, ends up founding Q-Force and helping our heroes in their final battle. While these games are considered a standalone trilogy, there was a fourth Ratchet & Clank game on PS2, Gladiator, also known as Deadlocked, which leaned away from the series' platforming in favour of an emphasis on combat, with our heroes kidnapped and forced to participate in a series of Battle Royale-style showcases. Before making their debut on PS3, Ratchet & Clank then appeared in 2 games on PSP. Size Matters and Secret Agent Clank were both developed by High Impact Games, a studio founded by several members of the Insomniac team. In Size Matters, our heroes battle an ancient race of technomites, tiny angry beings set on domination using an army of Ratchet clones. And in Secret Agent Clank, Clank goes on a Bond-style adventure after Ratchet is falsely imprisoned, hunting down a jewel thief who turns out to be none other than this guy. Who'd have clunk it? In 2007, a whole new era of Ratchet & Clank began with Tools of Destruction on PS3. This was a fresh start for a new generation, with our heroes fleeing from a new enemy, Emperor Percival Tachyon.
Your name's Percival?
The pair end up in the Polaris Galaxy, where they learn about the disappearance of the Lombaxes and the origins of the Dimensionator, which PS5 players will remember being behind all the rifts in Rift Apart.
You were right. Wormhole devices are dangerous.
The Dimensionator, it turns out, was a Lombax invention, and they used it to run from their war with the Emperor, escaping their homeworld to another reality and leaving just 2 of their number behind, a Guardian for their powerful device, and his young son, Ratchet. Tools of Destruction is also notable for introducing us to Rusty Pete, and because at the very end of the game, two important things happen. The Dimensionator stops working, and Clank is abducted by mystical time and energy beings called the Zoni. In short follow-up adventure Quest for Booty, Ratchet begins his search for Clank, though he doesn't find him until A Crack in Time, released in 2009. All our favourites are back in play here. The Zoni have hired Dr. Nefarious to heal a damaged Clank, while Captain Quark joins Ratchet in the search for his pal.
Yep, without Clank, Ratchet was alone in the universe. Alone. Alone. Alone.
Clank discovers his true creator is a Zoni responsible for the Great Clock, which maintains all time in the universe. Two people have plans to use the clock. Ratchet meets an exiled Lombax hoping to fix the past and save his species, while Nefarious's ultimate aim is revealed to be the creation of a universe where villains always win.
It's time for Unnecessarily Evil Initiative Omega 91!
Neither plan works out in the end. The next two Ratchet & Clank games were more experimental spin-offs. 2011's All for One is a 4-player co-op platformer with Dr. Nefarious forced to join our heroes and Captain Quark to escape a trap of his own making. And Q-Force, also known as Full Frontal Assault, is a shorter adventure with co-op online multiplayer and new tower defense elements added into the mix to celebrate the series' 10th anniversary. Which then brings us to 2013's Ratchet & Clank Into the Nexus, the last game of the PS3 era. The Dimensionator makes a return here, with our heroes on the trail of twin criminals Vendra and Neftin Prog, who use a copy of the device to open a portal to the Netherverse, an alternate world filled with demonic nasties.
They built their own Dimensionator?
To seal the rift, Ratchet & Clank retrieve the original Dimensionator from a museum and use it to save the day, with Clank keeping the device with the intention of one day using it to search for the lost Lombax civilization. In 2016, a reimagining of the very first game was released on PS4, retelling the pair's original adventure with some key differences, like the addition of a not-yet-robotic Dr. Nefarious and updated gameplay. And then in 2021, Rift Apart was released for PS5, where our galactic heroes Ratchet & Clank join forces with their counterparts from an alternate universe, Rivet and Kit. Working together to save their worlds from the dimensional cataclysm brought about by the destruction of the Dimensionator, the four face off against Dr. Nefarious and his alternate universe equivalent, Emperor Nefarious, to save the day and reality itself by closing unstable rifts between dimensions. Woof! Well, there you go then. That is us all caught up on 20 years of iconic Ratchet & Clank history. What is your favourite of the Ratchet & Clank games, which we will be playing on PlayStation Plus Premium? Let us know in the comments below. Drop a like if you, well, liked this video, and come back very soon for more PlayStation goodness on the channel. Thanks for watching.
PlayStation